Welcome back to the FOFB guys, thanks for clicking on, and on this video we are going to do the walk around of the completed Volvo V8. This is Murdoch's project. I was allowed to be involved in it, it was fantastic. This is a Volvo with a Scania V8 fitted underneath. There's a rain start, just typical. So she is a 141 engine, we believe. Well, she is a 141 engine, but we believe it's actually out of a boat. We've just found out. We're not too sure the full history, but this was just basically a bag of scraps all put together to make something beautiful. Now, there was loads of controversy on this build when we started posting videos of it. I will comment on that at the end of the video because people says we stole the idea, and I will defend those comments and accusations at the end of this video. But let's get into the truck and the build and the walk around and the amazing experience this has been. Months back, John and Drew Murdoch, two brothers, asked me to be a part of this project. This was something they wanted to do. They've had this idea and they asked me if I wanted to be involved, and I was deeply honoured and I was super excited to get stuck in with it. John and Drew had discussed this idea for about 10 years. They wanted to build this and add it to their project. They have a fine collection of old retro trucks and builds they do for themselves. All the restorations, they don't send them away to get done, they do them in-house. Drew's skill and attention to detail and knowledge is incredible. You have seen the museum in other videos I've posted, but we should do another walk around and another video separately on the 141, the 142. The 142 is the next one they're just trying to complete off, and they've got all the old Volvos and they've got a shed down there full of other projects to get started. But this was the next one they wanted to get done and over the line. Now, because this is obviously not made, this engine is not made for this chassis and structure, to get it to fit, the chassis had to be modified, as you can see here, and cut away and re-welded and adjusted to fit in. Same with the whole manifold system. This is all customized by Porter exhausts. All this whole manifold was all custom made to allow this engine to fit and get down low enough. And while we were at it, Porter stuck a full set of exhaust system, pipes and bends up and down the chassis. These fantastic looking stacks, the amazing A-frame with Murdoch's logo on the back. I'd like to add, when this was getting completed in the shed, the stacks are put on and nobody checked, and the stacks had to come back off because it couldn't get out the shed because the door was too small. So these stacks have been on and off a few times. Now, when this build was getting done, when we first started and completed it, had it racing around the yard, it looked like a bag of scrap, if you wanted to say that. But no one in their right mind, like Drew said, would get a minted F12 or any Volvo and a Scania engine, because we didn't know if this was possible, and start cutting things up and jam it together. So they got old bits and bobs and refurbished and rebuilt and recreated this just to test it, like, you know, build, test, bolt it together, make sure it works, and then strip it all apart and then paint it and rebuild complete to this prettiness. The Scania block, right, original Scania blocks were green, but they're like a more of a minty green, and Adam, we call it, who obviously did the build as well, suggested we go for this metallic green, which at first I was very unsure about myself. I liked another one, and so did Drew, but Adam insisted this is the one we should go for, and it was definitely the right colour in the end to go with. The stainless steel and the gold rocker covers and all the gold piping is perfect. It just really makes the whole thing pop and be different. I mean, look at that colour. Have you locked yourself out the cab? This is the... have you actually locked it?
Keep it in it.
Oh, are they? Oh, look at this Volvo V8 we've built. This Volvo V8 is awesome. And walked yourself out the cab.
Yeah.
This is not scripted, by the way. This has generally just happened on the spot.
Right, let's go get spare keys.
Right, well, while Drew gets the spare keys, I'm going to continue making this video. That's funny. So another reason where the edge, like, see, like people might say, we'll show you, we're going to get the cab up, right, once Drew comes back with the keys, right? Oh, why didn't you put it higher? Because look, there is all that extra room up there. I suppose the edge could have gone higher, and that would have avoided cutting the chassis. But the edge would have been really high up, probably top heavy in the cab. It would be a low centre of gravity. But not only that, they wanted to use the original radiator, so the Volvo radiator, that is still at the front, but also where the gearbox and the prop would come out of the axle, it would be and on the cross members with the work, so it had to kind of be there. It was the best place for it.
Be properly full up. I should
See-
lift it down further.
See, now we can't find the keys, can we?
No.
No, so keys are missing. Bear with us, we're going to try and still get into this. Well, we can build this, I'm sure we could break into it.
I can drill the lock out. It's not that big a deal, but it's just annoying.
We're just trying every Volvo key to see by any luck that something, oh, just something might work.
My misspent youth. Andy, because I'm clearly
Oh yeah.
clearly not very good at this.
We'd be shy at stealing lorries, wouldn't we?
We wouldn't be very good at that. We're really not going to the Hamilton services to try and rob a load of trucks.
Let's put it here. There we go. So we'll continue with the video.
Keys! Oh, there's the keys there!
There's the missing keys. And the spares.
No, the spares aren't on
Are they
there.
not the spares?
No.
That's the two doors, and the other
Two doors
two
in
are in my
ignition.
office. They're not there
Two
now.
doors in the ignition, aye.
No, we're getting the other set of them now. Right, now that we've got it all up correctly, unlocked. So as you can see, here it's all mounted in the chassis, so it's all been cut here and then plated. Custom manifolds, just have the engine sit where it is for the back axle and the gearbox. And the gearbox linkage is Volvo linkage, and is that a Scania Spider? No, it's a Volvo
Volvo
Spider.
Yep.
Aye. See, this is all like basically made like half and half of Scania and Volvo parts, because there was never, everything was like if it. So
Volvo to here.
that's Volvo to there,
Yes.
right? And then this is Scania.
Yes.
Aye, so that's Volvo,
Yep.
Volbar, and then that's Scania there. Because most of it's like you say, is that the Volvo part didn't fit. You just got the Scania part to fit.
Turned it upside down and then it fitted. Usually.
We got and Volvo radiator up the front here. So that's the original. And it says you just thought that was made to fit, cut to fit, but made to fit. But it is. Out of the entire build, what would you say was the hardest part?
Good question. Everything had its challenges, but you just sort of work through them one at a time. Probably initially getting it mounted in the right place so that the gearbox was lined with the diff, so that the prop shaft ran properly. That was, the engine was probably in and out about 8, 9, 10 times, and then making the mountings to fit it. After that, putting it up, getting it up and getting it running was relatively straightforward. The harder bit was stripping it back down again, redoing it all, painting it, getting it looking nice, and then putting it all back together again without scratching it or damaging it. And then we couldn't get the clutch. We couldn't get, you know, the clutch was giving us all sorts of problems. We couldn't get it bled up again. Running, putting the spill pipes on it, we had a problem with that. We couldn't get it to run long enough. So those were two of the main issues that we had at the end of the build. It's a lot easier to do it when you're just hitting something with a hammer. I was
going to say smacking
it with a hammer and welding a bit on, and then just taking the burner and burning a bit off to make it work. When it's pretty, it's a wee.
Like I said, it was all brand new and clean. That you were trying not to scratch it, but it was like the engine fired up with that when it sat for years, no bother.
Yep.
And then when we put it in up there, the bit we didn't film, it took us. We couldn't figure out why it would have run, and we're in there for ages trying to get it to go.
It took us about 2 days to get it to run again.
Sat for 20 years, started first turn. Sat for like 2 months, 2 days to get it going. But that's the joys. As well as in this build, it wasn't just like everybody you seen in the video helping with the build, like Adam and all the boys mechanics and fitters and that. It was everybody outside, like sourcing parts. Like you were just saying, well, Volvo.
Yep, Volvo managed to trawl the world and get us some original FH1 parts when we were coming to some of the Volvo stuff and some of the Scania stuff that was obsolete or not available. We used Cunningham truck parts. Ian was brilliant at getting us, you know, the pieces that the dealers of no longer stock or no longer have. Keen Porter, we're doing the exhausts. You know, he just took that in his stride, that this is what we were doing and this is how we were needing to make it to get it to fit. So he just Yep, took the truck away, sorted it, made it happen. So yeah, thankful and grateful to everybody that's their involvement in it. Jim Leeson, who was the guy who had the engine, so we could get it in a short space of time, and Jim helped us out with different bits, visors and different bits and pieces at the end of the run, so that we could we could get it to the church in time, so to speak. So
I say, on saying that, when this was completed, well, I had to go through to the show in the morning, and when I came in, Drew was sitting there on his chair. I was eating, looking at it, and the truck was in a billion bits all over the floor, and it was all hands on decks. It wasn't like when everyone else was rolling to the shows, ready to have beers and polish their trucks. This thing was still getting built, all finished and bolted back together, and it was like ants round sugar. I said there were so many of us on it. If you turn around and says, "Oh, I need a 13 mil, or can somebody give me a hand?" There was someone there in seconds. There were so many boys on it at the end to get it over the finish line, and it was quite impressive to see it turn up as well.
it was. There was a point where I was done, and I sat down in the chair. I think
Well, first thing Friday morning when I came in.
I think it was Thursday night, actually. It was Thursday night, I think. Blake tried to back bleed the clutch and sprayed brake fluid all over the paintwork, and everybody was running to try and stop it eating the paint, and I sat down and I was like, it's no going, no going. And I was disappointed that I was more disappointed for everybody else. It wasn't for me. But Adam and Chris were like, no, right, we're going to get one last go, and they did. And he picked me up for a wee bit and sort of, we're going to get this there. And then we got the clutch, and then we were like, yes, let's get the rest of it finished, the bolt-on bits, and get it out.
Now, before we start up and move around, and you get to see the stacks roaring and whatnot, I want to say my bit on this. So, like, to be a part of this was amazing. Like, we all worked together, we all had our part in the fun, the banter, the crack, the laughs, the skills, and the knowledge of everyone had to add to it and to keep each other up. Because if you were to do this, you would break your heart when things weren't working. We would all just be ripping in and taking the mick, and it just keeps you going. And to think this just came about as an idea, decided to crack on with it, and how quick it's been turned around. I think that was, you asked me back in the November, start of December?
Yep, would be, yep.
Yep. And this is it now.
November at the Transport News Awards.
Transport News Awards.
You do the media coverage for us. Aye.
That's it, and now we're here. We'd also just like to add, right to the final touches, even with the interior still get done, but the gear stick is obviously a Volvo stick, right? But it has got the Scania gearbox pattern on it, right? This is where my confusion was, because I thought it was that gearbox, and I was trying to drive it when they first built it with that, and I was hitting everybody wrong gear. Is that second?
No.
No, that's not second. That's fourth.
That's fourth, yes.
That should be second. Otherwise, I'd be
That should be second, yeah.
Yes. No, that's reverse. That's reverse! We couldn't get reverse when we first did it.
It needs a wee tweak, it needs just a wee adjustment. But
that's it. We're fine. When are we going to MOT it?
I'll probably take it
This is the first right-hand drive truck I've driven in a wee while.
No, we're okay. I should maybe take it off you now.
I was saying it's the first right-hand drive one.
I waved to you the other day there about Cumbernauld, I've just passed it, and I think you ignored me, but nevertheless. I flashed the lights, and then I seen there was nobody in the truck, and I was like, alright, okay. He's on the other side.
We need to get this out of the road with a proper trailer behind her.
Yep, we'll get that done. We're just running out of time this year, but yep, we'll make that happen.
We'll get that done for Lincoln.
Yes. We don't wear Lincoln.
It changes gear really good as well.
It's really nice, isn't it?
It is actually.
It's really nice.
Especially last time when we were rummaging around in it as well.
Yep.
I thought you would drive, oh, there's a gear, you just go for it. I didn't know if I was allowed to give it big wheel spins because it's all nice and pristine. Now, if you stuck around to this point in the video, thank you very much. Really do appreciate it. Now, this is the bit I'm going to get to in this video as well. The very argumental point that this idea was stolen, it was robbed for the man himself, Trucker Tim, because he was obviously doing a V8 Volvo and started posting about it first. But let me set the record straight and put my bit on it, our bit on it. First of all, putting a V8 in a Volvo has been a discussion and an idea that's belonged to the trucking industry for as long as I can remember. And John and Drew decided 10 years ago, they told me, when, was it first Swedefest? Swedefest, because Swedefest have them all lined up, all Volvos, all Scania, OCD order, and they says how funny it would be if we made a V8 Volvo to really mess with them. So the idea went and happened 10 years ago. Now, credit and thanks to Tim, because if Tim didn't decide and post that he was going to do it, John and Drew would have got their project idea into play, and that's how it all came about. So it was thanks to Tim in that sense, because that was a bit of competition. But in that, and when people started saying, oh, but you've stolen Tim's idea, listen, it's not a stolen idea. People have already discussed about doing it, but it just meant Tim now has to do his, which he is, and Benjineer, the incredible, we've been paying compliments to that guy. That is an incredible build what he's doing. He's doing something different, which is fantastic to see. So now there's one here completed in its own style. Tim's going to do his and Benjineer in their style with the engine out the back, and it'll be a beast Frankenstein. I'm sure Tim's got other crazy ideas he's going to ask Ben to do. And then when they're both done, it'd be great to see the two of them side by side, and you've got these two, and it's the start of probably a new era of building trucks. Like, you know, instead of it just being all brand new trucks and maybe the odd restorations, doing customised build, different engines and monsters like this would just be very interesting to see. And it is thanks to, well, it is thanks to Tim saying he was going to do it, to then push the hand of that one in a bit of competition. That is, it's good these things happen, because if there was no competition, well, we'd be a lot further behind in civilization, because it's competition that drives us all forward.
So we're all about the detail and attention to detail, as you've seen with the engine and everything that we've done, and that was all sort of kind of mocked up. But we like to, you know, it's a 14 litre engine now, so we like to change the badge to a 14, and we put the 8 into the Volvo just to give it a wee twist. And the angle of the spotlights, that was extreme detail measurement as they hit the door going out the shed going to Truckfest, and that's the angle that they get left at. So you can see how we like to get every little detail perfect.
I tell you about the stacks already.
Yes,
Yes, you put the stacks on and realised
we knew that. We knew it wouldn't go out. We thought we'd be okay with the lights, but yes, the angle of the lights is 100% down to hitting the top of the door.
As is, guys, to be a part of this, I thank Murdoch's for letting me be a part of it, and all the boys, and it was a great experience. You know, even then, the friendships have grown as well, because I knew John, his brother more, but over the years, and I met Drew a couple of times, but then this is kind of the best part. I'm going up to your house again for a drink tonight.
Yeah.
And this is the joy about trucks. This is the things I like to show, and we all like to see. This is the joy about trucks. Like, like to come together to do this. I'm going to live with these memories for the rest of my life. I'm going to be able to say I was a part of it, and I've got new friends. We've got strong, long-lasting friendships out of it, and it all stems from someone coming with an idea or going to do something, and then other people go and say, well, we're going to do it first. So, thanks, Tim. Thank you, Tim, for saying you were going to do it, because what would you say? You would have finished the 142 first, and then what would you have done next?
Yeah, we would have done the 142, and then we'd have went on to something else, and this would just have kept getting left and left and left, and then we'd eventually get round to it, but yeah,
it would have been years down the line.
We moved it up the list.
And now, that's it, there's the start of the Volvo V8 craze. Let's hope more people do it. We'd like to see this across Europe. We'd like to see other people doing it, or other builds, putting Cummins and DAFs, and we've been thinking of a few ideas. Like
Volvos and Scanias.
Yeah, Volvos and Scanias. This could just be a new era. So it's all thanks to that one person to start it, and then other competition to begin, and new ideas to happen. So next stage, we don't know the next stage, maybe MOTs, but like it says, Tim and Ben finish their one off, and then we can maybe meet them up if and do a drag race, do all the usual stuff, and just see. But anyway, guys, we're gonna head up the road, and he's got a bar. He's a lot better off than me. He's been at it longer. We're gonna be in his
60 years next year.
60. You're twice the age.
I'm at the hard paper link.
Bloody hell. So we're gonna go there. But thanks. Remember, if you share this video, it helps, because other people will see it and they'll maybe get ideas and do the builds themselves and appreciate this. And like, share, comment, subscribe, the whole usual. But as always, flat out, flat broke, whooshed.